boys.
Cool.
We got to buckle in. I think we got a doozy based on what I've been foretold.
This is United A-Holes, a video cast discussing cultural topics with no filter.
So, Kendall, we'll do our best not to interrupt. Take us on your wild, wacky ride.
Okay, picture the scene. It's 1988. Good maritime boy in the summer gets an inkling from some phone calls say, you're going to get transferred to the big shitty in Ottawa. And I'm thinking, oh, really?
Is that what they call it?
So I'm thinking, I want to at least spend, the summer in Halifax, because every summer in Halifax I have the big concert on the hill. And that's an event that me and my friends look forward to. But it's like, oh, okay, well, you don't win? Nope. But so a week before the event, I get a phone call that says, you're playing and this is your ticket and all the information and you're flying to Ottawa. When your plane lands, your boss is going to meet you at the airport and he's going to take you to the hotel and, wherever you need to stop or whatever. Call this company, moving company or whatever, and they'll gather up what belongings you have or whatever, and it's all looked after. Congratulations, man. It was a promotion for me. So even though I was bummed that I was leaving home, I was happy that I was, advancing my life. Yeah, bigger and better things. So I get on the plane and fly to Ottawa, get off, and I meet Jack, my boss, and he says to me, he said, I just had the one bag at the time. He said, do you need to stop anywhere? I said, I've got some clothes. He goes, well, I should run into a drugstore and you can get some, they have soap and all that stuff at the hotel. He goes, no, I'm not taking you to a hotel. No, he goes, yeah, we arranged that we have a boarding house that we kind of go to for transfers. You can stay there, or you can, leave in a couple weeks when you get yourself settled and find a place of your own. But trust me, it's a good place. You'll like it there. It's what they do. And I'm thinking, oh, okay. So I went to the drugstore and I bought toiletries and everything, and I even bought a box of condoms because 23
Maybe
years
Jack
old.
would fuck me.
I'm just trying to think of everything, right? So we get up there and we're driving, and all of a sudden we get in this real nice subdivision. There's beautiful homes and everywhere, and I'm thinking, pulling into the driveway, and I'm thinking, this doesn't seem like a actual boarding house, but okay. So Jack opens the door. He goes, all right, I'll see you tomorrow. I said, oh, okay, cool. And I just walked up to the door, rang the doorbell, door open, and there's a gentleman that I thought was, like the owner of the house, and it was Jim. And Jim's like, East Coast. And I said, oh, yeah, I'm Ken, and, nice to meet you and everything. He goes, come on in. Just throw your bag over there. And, so this is our place. We have anywhere from 4 to 9 boarders. The house is pretty huge. There's 3 levels. Make yourself at home. You'll get to know the rules and everything. My wife will go over them with you. And then no sooner as he'd said that, Estelle! And come around the corner is the spitting image of Mrs. Roper from Three's Company, except with darker hair. The robe and the big-ass bracelet, and she's got a glass of wine in one hand. She's drinking, and she's got the glasses, and she comes around the corner, and she's like, oh. You're the guy from Halifax. Right. We're going to enjoy having you here. And I'm thinking, oh my God, could you look any more like Mrs. Roper? And and she was like nice, and she showed me all around with Jim and everything. And the kicker is that Jim was a union president, not like a local chapter. He was union president. So he was home like 5 days every month. He was nowhere to be found. So I thought that was, interesting, whatever. So I got acclimatized, and, after about, 3 days, I'm there in the house, and it's stressful because it's new and you're new people and everything. And from downstairs, I hear REM just blasting, except I didn't know it was REM because all I'd been exposed to was, Fall on Me and their softer stuff.
How old were you?
And it was 23.
Okay.
And so I'm listening to Begin the Begin. So I go downstairs because the whole house is open, but the people that are downstairs have their own kitchen area and everything. So I walk down and I'm like, is that REM? And the guy goes, yeah, it's Life's Risk Pageant. And, we got talking and everything and talking, and there's another guy there and they're playing cards, and I said, oh, this is cool. And then another guy walks out and he goes, new guy, right? Yeah. You know the rules? And I'm going, oh yeah, I know the rules. If you're going to cook in the kitchen, make sure it's only the microwave after 10 o'clock. And the other two guys are like, you don't know the rules, do you? I said, what rules? But he looks and goes, the Estelle rules. And I said, the Estelle rules? Let's put it this way. They have tons of money. She's very lonely. Husband's not around, so all she does is socialize all day and drink like a fish. You mean Mrs. Roper? To the power of 20, my son. There's a Newfoundlander there. And I said, okay, so what are the rules? Okay, so here's the thing. Never ever be in a room alone with her, unless it's the daytime and you know that somebody else is in the house. I said, okay, and for God's sake, at night, know that the robes get sheerer and sheerer as the hour progresses.
Oh my God.
I've said, oh, okay. And also, at night, if you think she's having a fight out on the back deck and voices are being raised, I know the human in you is going to want to go and check on her and intervene. Do not do that. She is batshit crazy. She is out there by herself, having a fight with herself. And she is totally blitzed. Stay the fuck away from that. Where are you sleeping? Well, I'm on the 3rd floor. Oh, fuck. Are you right next to her bedroom? I said, well, I can see the door down the hallway. Okay. At nighttime, and you go to the bathroom or the shower and her door is open, walk like this. Do not look into the bedroom. Unless you want to see a 70-year-old woman passed out drunk naked on her bed. And when you turn the corner, never hug this side of the wall because she's famous for, oh, we banged into each other. Isn't that funny? I'm thinking, holy fuck. And for God's sake, never, ever, ever take her up on the offer for a drink. I said, really? And then he looks at me and goes, well, unless you're into that sort of thing. And they all laugh, and I'm thinking, okay. And there was another rule, but I completely forgot it. So the week goes by. It's a rough week. Saturday, I come
Sounds
home
like Harry
from work.
Potter's first year at Hogwarts.
I'm in the kitchen and I hear a voice and I'm just zoned out. It's like, oh fuck, could this have been any worse of a week? What are you doing? I think, nothing. The week is over. I'm just gonna veg and that'll be the end of it. Oh, well come sit down by mama and have a drink with me. And I'm thinking, oh my fuck, she's in the anteroom, and they told me to watch for her because she hides in the anteroom off the kitchen. Past the dining room, there's a room with 2 sunken steps, and she's famous for hiding in there in the corner. And she was in there, and she was drinking. And she goes, come tell mama all about it. Come on in. And so I'm like, well, no, you don't. It's the weekend. Come on, have a drink. You could use a drink. And it's true, I could have a drink. And I'm thinking, the guys were just shining me on downstairs. It can't be that bad. No. Really, it can't be that bad. So I take the plunge and I said, yeah, I'll have a drink with you, Estelle. And 2.5 hours later, she's still telling me about her life and how much money she has, and how she thinks that she still has it and she's all that and looks the department and everything like that. My husband's never around and talking and everything, and she's getting closer and closer and closer to me because it's kind of a horseshoe couch. So initially we start here, and then gradually she's starting to work her way
She's moving
down.
like a sundial.
She's moving like a
She's
moving
spinning
like a
webs in the
sundial,
room, too.
and I'm like, holy fuck! I broke the rule. Fuck, Jesus, what the hell
Look
am I
at the
going to
time.
do? Right? Well, there's an unwritten rule in the place that we all got each other's backs when it comes to Estelle, and so count on being like saved or whatever. And so there was a guy named Dan that lived there, and he had been in the place for like 13 years, and he was I'm 23, he was like 54, and he was an older gentleman. And so at the 11th hour, and she's about where Josh is right now to me, and she's starting to slur words and everything like that, I hear, "How come you're not dressed?" And I look over and go, What do you mean? Did you forget that we were going to shoot pool tonight? Oh, come on.
Nice.
And I'm like, oh, right. Yeah, we were going to shoot pool.
I love pool.
And Estelle goes, "What are you doing, Dan?" And Dan's like, "Estelle, he's got to go.
Now quit blocking my
I don't
cock."
have a partner for our pool league tonight, and he's filling in. Anybody from the East Coast can shoot pool." And I'm like, "You're fucking right, we can." and I'm out. Thanks for the drink, Estelle. And I put it down, and I'm gone. Right?
That's what
And
she was thinking, too.
I go upstairs, and I'm thinking, holy fuck. And the next thing you know, he's knocking on my door and go, "Well, come on, let's go." I said, "What?" He goes, "We're going to shoot some pool." I said, "Really?" He goes, "I'm not leaving you fucking here tonight. There's
You
nobody
just
else
got
in the
Estelle
house.
by Dawn. Or Dan.
There's nobody here in the house. I mean, Okay, no problem." He goes, "You don't stand a chance." So
Wait, we can smell it.
I'm there and making myself look presentable and everything like that, and I'm looking and thinking, "Oh, we are going to a bar. Do I bring? Oh, fuck it. It's the first night in Ottawa. I'm not interested in. I'm still trying to process Estelle, so I leave the condoms on the dresser and we leave. We will call that mistake number 1 in the story. So we go shoot some pool and, having a good time and then meeting some people and everything. And that's nice. And then we do a time check. And I said, "Do you want to head her back?" And Dan's doing his Estelle check. And he goes, "No, she's still up. She hasn't passed out yet." "No, well, I'm getting tired of this place. You want to go to an actual bar?" And I said, "Love to." And I'm not drunk, but I'm, had a few beers and a couple shots. So we actually go to an actual bar. They have a dance floor and, a DJ and everything. And we're at the bar and he goes, "Now don't let me cramp your style, you young buck, And I just jokingly said, "Listen, I don't go chasing it. It comes to me." And no sooner had I said that than this mousy little brown hair comes up, taps me on the shoulder and says, "Hey, you want to dance?" And Dan, the look on his face is just, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And I give him one of these. Ain't nothing but a thing. Never happened to me in a million years. So I say, "Sure, I'd love to dance." We
Can
will
my
call
buddy
that
come?
mistake number 2 in the evening. So we get on the dance floor and we're having a good time and everything. And she takes me back to her table and
There's Estelle.
I'm getting all these questions about what my rank is and everything. And I'm saying, "What's up with that?" And she goes, "Oh, you're in the military, right?" And I said, "No, does everybody think I'm in the military?" And she goes, "Well, yeah, obviously. Take a look around you." And I look and, oh my God, I'm in a sea of fucking mullets and fucking turtlenecks and fucking acid wash jeans. And I'm like, holy fuck, yeah, just time of the year, right? And so we just automatically assumed you were in the
We're a little
military.
lost. You might have
I don't understand that at all, what you just said. What's the mullets?
I don't understand how that has anything to do with the military.
He's the only one without a mullet.
I'm
so
the
you
only
thought he
one
was in the
without a
military?
mullet.
Okay.
Oh, because it was clean cut.
Yeah, I was
okay,
clean
okay,
cut
okay,
and I was
okay.
in shape, and I'm saying no, I'm just I don't do that for a living and whatever, but no big deal. What I didn't realize that Ottawa is a very clean city. It's a capital city, and it shuts down early. It shuts down at last call is at 11 o'clock. A bar can't be open past 11:30
Holy.
at the time. No,
Wow.
it completely shuts down.
It's not that way down.
So
Okay.
I'm like, so what do you want to do? And she goes, Hull? And I'm just thinking, well, what's Hull? And she's like, Quebec. The bars close at 3 o'clock in the morning. You want to go? And I said, well, as long as you'll be my tour guide. She goes, no problem. And so we go over, and she goes, oh, but over in Quebec, you're in the military. I said, oh, okay.
Stolen valor.
No. Okay, I guess that's, whatever. And so the first club we go into, and, at this point in the evening, there's the guy on my left shoulder and the guy on my right shoulder. And we go into our first bar in Lariso, and the guy at the door, and we go in, and he taps me on the shoulder. He goes, hold on, bass. She goes, yeah, you're on bass, right? You're in
I'm
the
not in a
military.
band.
I said, okay, no problem. I don't. Okay, cool. I don't really know any military jargon or whatever, like the 10-4, get out of here, whatever the fuck, right?
10-4,
And so he asked her
Red Savine
for ID.
all night long.
Asked her for ID, and she told me that she was a legal secretary for a law firm in Ottawa. That's what she did for a living, and she had a her and her co-worker had a place together, and and she was living life, and she liked to party on the weekends, and I was good enough for me. We got to our first bar, and the first red flag came up when now 15 minutes of her trying to find ID to get into this place. The left shoulder was like, come on, let us in, right? Like I'm basically there coming, come on, and she goes, I'm a legal secretary and everything, and but the guy on the left ignored all the signs that she wasn't able to actually be out at this hour of the evening, but I just completely ignored that, and he eventually let us in, and then he looks at me and he goes, you behave yourself. And I said, yeah, no problem. So we got in there, we had a great time, and found out the reason why I had to be in the military is because the guys in Hull, the mullet, gold chain, turtleneck, acid wash jean pants, didn't take too kindly of the English guys coming over from Ottawa trying to get the women. But if you were in the military, they knew that if they were going to start something with you, then they would have to fight everybody else that was on base with you, because they all had each other's backs. And I learned a few words like, in Canix, and suddenly it fit. That was like the co-op store of the military, right? Yeah, he looks like a guy that could count VCRs all day. Yeah, that fits. So we got through all that and everything, and the next thing you know, it's 3 a.m. in the morning, and I'm just absolutely belligerent shittered at this point. And she tells me, well, there's only one cab company that goes from Hull back over to Ottawa, and so we got to get in the line, and we're 10 minutes in line, we're 20 minutes in line, we're a half an hour in line, and it's like, holy shit, it's like the best movie of the year opening night, and the lineup is just absolutely crazy. And we're like here, and the end of the line is here, and she spots friends that are over here, and they're like, hey, come on over. And so she grabs me, and next thing you know, we're in the line, so we're gonna get a cab earlier, right? which doesn't piss anybody off because at this
Brent
point,
wasn't there.
everybody's just belligerent drunk, right? And we're just crazy. So we get into the cab with her friends and we start going at it in the back seat. And I'm like, so where are we going? She goes, we live in Cumberland. I said, oh, cool, Cumberland. Where's that? And she goes, oh, it's, outside of Ottawa. And actually, Cumberland is just not outside of Ottawa, but we'll get to that in a few moments. So we stop, we pull in, and it's a nice house and everything. And there's like a play school kids like basketball net, like in the driveway. And the right side of me is observing all these things. That's like, okay, 2 legal secretaries, and the guy on the left is just go in the house, fuckhead. You're gonna get laid. And so we're in there. She's like, shh, it's all quiet and everything like that. So we're in there. We're in the living room, and she's looking at me, and she goes, "You have condoms, right?" And the guy on the right's like, oh, fuck, I didn't bring them. And the guy on the left is, you have condoms, they're just not with you. Answer yes to the question. It's just semantics at this point in time. So I'm like, yeah, I have condoms. I own condoms. So we're doing it and everything like that. And I'm thinking, how I'm going to get out of this situation is I'll just go down on her, and that'll be good enough. Now, I'd seen a couple of videos in my past where there were so-called experts at fellatio, and there was a guy that was taught.
Fellatio is what a girl does to a guy.
Or whatever.
Right. When
Oral.
a dick is sucked.
Right, when a dick is in.
Or whatever.
Cunnilingus.
Cunnilingus. Okay, cunnilingus. So,
Cunning linguist.
and there was one guy in one of the movies that had like his biting technique down, right?
What?
He was a nibbler.
What? Biting?
Yeah, he was a nibbler, and he goes, you gently do the lips and everything like that. And I said, oh yeah, I can do this. I got this and everything like that, right? So
Control of a shark.
So
No, I read a Wikipedia article on karate.
and I'm like, I give her the old line. I was trained by an Oriental lick master from the Far East. Boy, are you in for a train? And she lets out this scream because I bit down too hard. And
Oh, Canada.
you would think that I would have woken up her roommate, but you'd be wrong, because I woke up her father.
I knew.
And
Knew.
and I heard this, Dad, go on. And 5 seconds later, my shirt is in my mouth. I've got my shoes in this hand, and my pants are at this point in time up my knees, and she basically pushes me off the back deck onto her backyard into her house and says, lay there for fucking 20 minutes before you move and leave. So there I am. I know I'm in Cumberland, Ontario. It's roughly probably 4:30 in the morning. I have no smokes. I'm half shittered, and I'm laying down on the grass trying to get my clothes on in her backyard. So I eventually wait a while, get up, and I start walking. I go this way. I'm trying to remember how we actually got into the subdivision. So I'm walking, and I'm walking, and I'm walking, and I don't see any cars. And eventually the sun comes up, and I'm still walking. And finally, I see a car, and they're sort of slow because they're approaching like a stop sign. And I wave, and I stop, and they roll down the window. And I said, do you have the time? And he's like, yeah, it's 20 to 10. I said, can I ask you where I am? He goes, yeah, you're about 2 kilometers outside of New Orleans. So from 4:30 to 20 to 10, I have gone 10 kilometers. And I just absolutely beat. And I said, I have to get back to Ottawa, Saint Laurent. What do I do? He said, well, if you walk another couple of kilometers, you'll get to a bus station. And in order to get back to Ottawa, well, any bus that stops there, anybody waiting for a bus should be able to tell you. So I'm thinking, okay, I got this. Only me can this happen to. So I cruise on over. I finally get there, and there's somebody there at the bus stop, and I'm saying, I need to get to Ottawa. Do you know what bus I would take? They look at me and they say, oh, the 93 is the one that you want. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm there, bus after bus after bus after bus. And finally a bus, and I said, 2 questions. I said, can you tell me when the 93 is coming, and have you got the time? He's like, well, it's 3:45, and the 93 doesn't run on Sundays.
Wah, wah, wah.
Okay, I have to get to Ottawa. He goes, okay, the 18, which runs every 10 minutes, and I've seen that one. He goes, jump on that, and the bus driver will tell you, how to transfer and do all that stuff. No problem. The 18 comes, I get on it, I go all the way to the back of the bus, and I sit down and go, I'm going to be home. What in the fuck? It's dark. Jesus Christ. I'm in a fucking garage. I'm in a fucking parking garage. Oh my fuck. I've fallen asleep on the fucking bus. Holy fuck. And I look up, and there is a bus driver sitting at the wheel, and he's doing something. He doesn't know that I'm on the bus. So I walk up to the front and I say, Jesus Christ! What the fuck? Did you fall asleep? OC bus drivers are the most rude and ignorant fucking workforce on the face of the planet. I swear to God, in my interactions with them. And I said, I'm eating. I'm on my lunch. You can ask me a question in 27 minutes.
Oh my God.
Get to the back of the fucking bus. So I go back, and I'm sitting there. And when I do go back, it's now 7. And I say, I need to get to Ottawa. He goes, well, I'm about to go out. He goes, get off at such and such a street, and then jump into number such and such. And I do that. And I'm on my 3rd wind at this point in time. And so I get on a bus, and he says, I'm going to let you off here. You want to get to Ottawa, then you've got to run about 8 blocks to get to Parkwood and get on that bus. And that one will actually take you to Saint Laurent, but you can't miss it because that run is over. You'll just barely make the last run. And so I did all that. I actually made it by about 2 minutes to spare. I get on the bus. I finally get back to the boarding house. I'm walking up the driveway, and I see a couple of the guys looking out the window. And the next thing you know, I see Dan looking out the window, and there's a big reception waiting for me, and Dan has this big shit-eating grin on his face. And I open up the door, and all I get was, hey, I want to hear a story. I want to hear a story. And I just fucking look at them, and I ignore them, and I start walking. And Dan looks at me and goes, no comment, no statement, nothing to say. And I turn around and I say, the next time Estelle wants to fuck me and one of you guys interrupt, we're gonna have a serious fucking problem. And the best part about the story is that I didn't have to work that Monday. Yay, Canada Day!